welcome back to another online photo program at harrynoel.com. This week I'm getting upstaged by one of our beautiful daffodils in our front yard, and we're bringing you our latest challenge. And the latest challenge is close-up or macro photography, traditionally done with flowers. Okay, so this week we are going to go over a few of the tools that you might use for macro or close-up photography. Next week we're going to go over a few of the shooting challenges or how to actually get the challenges done. Okay, so for this week we have a few ideas for you of how to get good macro photos, and we're going to talk more about equipment. So traditionally for close-up or macro photography, you would use a macro lens, and a macro lens allows you to get very, very, very close to your subject and make it life-size and do very well with it. Okay, many people don't have macro lenses, so you could use something like an extension tube. And an extension tube is something that extends your existing lenses further from the camera, and this makes a macro lens. So again, getting your subject very, very close to your lens and making it big and enormous. Some other things that you might want to do if you don't have a macro lens and you don't have extension tubes is to use a very wide angle lens and get very, very, very close to your subject. Okay? If you do that, you need to be aware of what's known as the minimum focusing distance. And that's the closest that you can focus to something with your lens. On a big lens like a 300mm lens, so a big lens, that might be 8 feet, something like that. With a very, very wide angle lens like the one I have here, the minimum focusing distance is about 10 or 20 centimeters. Okay, and you can see I'm getting very close. This lens I'm shooting with right now is a 14mm lens. The minimum focusing distance is 20 centimeters approximately, and that distance starts from the back of your camera. There's a little symbol with a circle and a line through it, and it's on all DSLR cameras. It should be on the back of your camera, on the top plate, but near the back, and that is where your focusing starts from. Okay. Other things to look at when you are shooting macro or very, very close-ups. Ideally you use a very fast shutter speed, and ideally you use manual focus, and ideally you use a tripod or monopod. More about those ideas next week. And you can also use some lighting accessories, some reflectors, things like that. So next week we're coming back to you to help you put these ideas together to get you some good close-ups or macro photography. Until then, I'll say thank you very much for coming, and I will sign off.